Hello and welcome, G.A. Raven. Thank you for joining, my man.
I'm very honored to be here, to be truthful.
People call you Raven, right?
Aye, they do.
Amazing. How did you get that name?
It was actually kind of something that kind of stuck with me through a lot of my gaming handles. I've always been a messenger of sorts. So it just one day somebody made a joke that I should keep a raven in my pocket to send all my notes out with, and I just kind of stuck with it. I got that nickname way back when I was playing Telnet games like Dwarves versus Elves. So,
All right. And most people today probably think that owls are the Harry Potter and stuff.
right, right.
But yeah, Raven
Well,
did that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you look at Norse mythology, Odin had two ravens as messengers.
Yeah.
They would carry his words.
Yeah. Hugin and
Same
Munin.
kind of thing in multiple religions.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You are in
Mhm.
Allied Terran or Miners, and you are a co-CEO together with who?
Zacarias Nano.
Which one of you did start it?
That was Zacarias. He actually started Atom. I just happened to come across the corporation day one. And I've been with Atom since. I started off as a line pilot doing nothing. I was trying to avoid combat kind of play style, just trying to do the industrial thing for a change. And I wound up meeting them. And to be honest, it's been a fortuitous thing since.
Do you know if he made the name from Atom and then just filled in the words, or did he have the long name and then made it into Atom? Do you understand what I mean? How did he
I
fix
do
that?
I, I believe he had the anagram first.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, I think he wanted to make sure it came out a specific way. He's a very science-minded individual, and he believes that like a nucleus, a proton, an electron, all
Oh,
that.
I love
It's
that.
like
Yeah.
the perfect congealment. It creates a bond, and
Yes.
so in our particular corporation, it's one of our cultures that we develop in all of our pilots that, we need to be bonded in all that we do, whether it's being on the line, holding the line, or it's building ships to afford the line. We've always been, from day one, the plan was always we want to build the ships that people need to go blow each other up in. And that's how we got rolling.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. If you've seen my one of my videos.
Hey, I have seen most all of them actually,
Oh,
quite well.
that. Oh, thank you. So, all right, you guys run what we would call like a major industrial complex. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, running a major industrial complex takes a lot of eyes on the field, right? We have miners, we have PI farmers, we have minimal skill requirements for dedicated players who want to do those things. We have master builders within the corporation and multiple of them for every class of ship or structure. Um, we myself, I'm a rig manufacturer. I'm a mastered rig manufacturer. So I handle all the rig menu for our corporation. Any blueprints hit our hangars, I build them out outright. And I do it at such a minimal cost that it's all profit. So it's very simple when our entire corporation of people are on a mindset of donate without question first. And then we take care of them on the back end. Building the complex was a later step for us. We had to develop a way to get our pilots to trust us that they could donate any amount of things to us and it wasn't for naught. Once you get to that point, then those people holding those personal assets don't feel remiss to pitch in when the call comes out. You know what I mean?
All right, yeah. How many are you?
Last I checked, I think we're around 108 in our corporation. We're one of the largest corporations in TSC currently.
That is great. That is a lot. Are you so you guys you're mining and you're doing the PI. That's pretty much what you do, and then you build a lot of stuff, right?
We do. We're a full complex corporation at this point. We've made great strides in creating a security wing. We've gone to very many links to do specialized builds. We have the ability to defend ourselves now independently if we need to. And that's also another part of that industrial complex that's necessary. Once you get to a level, you're going to have to be able to rely on your own people to secure a zone. Um, so, I mean, it's a lot of work on everyone's part. I've had miners who started with us as a miner who have become some of our better PvP pilots within our alliance.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you also work with the home defense for Dell, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Fortress Dell is my dream. I'll call it that.
When I met you in space, I can't remember what station that was. I travel a lot. I go check all our stations. I dock everywhere just to see what kind of people are and where they are and what they do. The station that I met you in, what station was that? Was that one of your
That was
stations?
that was one of Adam's citadels at the time. The nucleus in ZA9.
All right, all right. And you were in the nightmare.
I started off in Nightmare. We were about to do a big PVE fleet, so we could go get wreckages and such, so we could mineral farm.
All right, that's cool. I personally did PI. Well, I did PI in the beta, uh, very much, and I wrote down notes. I started very. I was very prepared for when the launch was, and after the launch, I actually didn't do much PI. So I have not done more than maybe 1 month of PI the whole time. I just kind of just didn't do it. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I keep buying PI, so I have a ton, but I don't use it. Um, but yeah, I think it will be important. I mean, it is important, but I think it will be important for me to have it in the future too. So, um, but all right,
Yeah,
so
that's one of the things I would definitely like to work on with, across the galaxy as a whole, barring all the enemy lines and everything like that. I would like to see more people doing more of a localized marketeering within their own coalitions and alliances as such as this, so that instead of feeding the gray market, such as like Jita and Amar, to be able to make your coalitions and alliances stronger, financially and economically, being able to grow independent, promoting that your pilots and all of your leadership always try to market in house, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, it does. The only problem is that you need a buyer, so the
Aye.
the corp has to be rich or rich enough at least.
Well, I mean, you look at EE for what it is, right? It's a material asset over liquidity, right?
Yes,
So it's definitely something that you look at when you're in a mixed situation like myself. I start off in a mining corporation, industrial corporation, and now we do a little bit of everything. So we have to figure out how to manage our income in a way that benefits us as a whole for our home and everything like that. um, and to that ends, one of the mottos we kick around over here is that, no home is free and nothing is truly ours, you know.
that is
So
true.
we actually like to we promote good interaction between our enemies and ourselves as a corporation. We discourage any xenophobia, any kind of bad talk back and forth. We actually, in our corporation, we're very careful with the people we bring in, and if we know that we bring them in, if they might have issue or what have you, we work with them and we try to rehabilitate the situation in a way that's compliable for everyone.
Sounds very good. Sounds like a great place to grow in Eve.
We
So
like to think so. We don't think we're perfect, but we like to think so.
a man can only do that much, right?
Aye, Do your best in all things, and the best shall give you.
Exactly. So how does a day look in Eve Echoes for you?
A day in Eve echoes for me. Um, well, kind of similar to right now. I spend most of my time as upper leadership in my Discord channels. Um, I I deal with so many pings a day; it's ridiculous. Uh, I'm still in my login screen on Echoes right now because I'm paying more attention to broadcasts than I am actually the game.
I know how it is. I know.
When I'm able to do fleets, most of the time I'm able to do them for a while. But I'm dedicated to my real life work as well. Being a restaurant manager, I have to be on top of things currently with our as a world, we are dealing with a state of being that's got me and mine well on our heels, and not to mention staffing being issues. So me being able to be in a live fleet or a mass combat like I'd like to be, um, I wind up a lot of times being the guy that helps at least get the guns to scene, or I'm the guy trying to encourage everyone from behind the lines.
Yeah. Kind of similar to me, I guess. I mean, I don't have time to do fleets as much as I would like to. I don't have time to play the game as much as I like to, but I like to inspire people through my YouTube. So, yeah.
You're like the EE Bard.
Oh, explain that.
So in Dungeons and Dragons, there's a class called Bard, and what they do is they tell stories, they encourage, they
Oh,
inspire.
all right. I got it. That was nice. Thank you.
You're
Oh
very
yeah,
welcome.
now I know what it is. You know, in the Asterix and the Obelix, the guy with the guitar that people hang up in the
Aye,
tree. Yeah, I'm that
aye.
guy. Perfect. All right. So, I was gonna ask you, like, what do you enjoy most doing in Eve? But I would assume that is managing, right?
Actually, the thing I enjoy doing the most in Eve is blowing the hell up out of NPCs. I love to rat. Um, I I don't know why. It's just mindless for me, but I like to rat because it is mindless. I don't have to watch my Discord. I don't have to think about anything. I can just sit there comfortably at whatever range I decide to engage it and know that if I get dropped in on or what have you, that it doesn't matter. I'm going to be okay. Um, I have developed a mantra for myself to where if you have me as a kill mail in your envelope anywhere, it's probably because I was the sacrificial lamb for the fleet I was bringing to you.
Ooh, nice. That's good. I mean, you can sleep good at night.
Very much so.
Yeah, all right. Since you're in Atom, you're actually also in Pantheon. So, what do you think about Pantheon?
Honest, I only know one direction to be, and that is purely honest. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah.
my viewpoint of pantheons right now is that we are a sleeping giant. I feel like sometimes we are capable of doing so much and capable of showing the whole galaxy how to get there. I also feel that within that sleeping giant is a dead heart. And I think a lot of that came from the first few wars wearing its time on it. Now, do I disagree with what's going on right now? No. Wars make money, wars make solidifying, alliances between each other, and
Yes.
it's encouraged to have. The issue being, though, is that when we're talking about coalitions and alliances and all of this, we gotta remember that without the line pilot and the personal assets, that there isn't any of it. And I feel like Pantheon does a really good job of trying to make their pilots feel appreciated and trying to monitor the even The conversations between each other, whether it's on a social media site or within the game or on Discord, they're very good at being proactive to try to avoid those kind of issues. I also feel that no one is immune to propaganda. No one is immune to false information. No one is immune to what I call spy ops, whether it be dissension in the ranks, social media bombs, point and click warriors, window cutters, as I call them, the ones that snip out just enough of the conversation to justify what they're going to say. Um,
Yeah.
all of that is below me. I don't bother myself with it mostly because to invest yourself in a game where you're putting your own money in, right? And this is something I learned in EO. When you get to the point to where you have over $8,000 into your game, you stop allowing Barnacle to bother you. And I say Barnacle because it's the nicest way I can say that people who do those kinds of things are just being trolls. Um, you got to have almost no life to invest that much energy to attack each other, whether it's from Pantheon side or the enemy side or our neutrals side. It takes a lot of practice in being a good butthole to to go out of your way to do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, they're barnacles. They're just waiting to get scraped off, and so you can move on. They're pointless to bother with. They're not going to change their ways. They're just going to keep trying to find what I call dirt. They're like TMZ. You can turn them off, but they're still there.
That's a good way to look at it. Talking about stuff that happens in Eve and stuff that doesn't happen in Eve, what would you say your vision of Eve is in the future?
My vision right now of it is, well, I'll say this from really the only point of view I can honestly gauge it from.
Yeah.
From a Great War veteran's point of view in EO, I can say that the future is going to be untold. Right now, the flags on the field are where they are, but that doesn't mean that won't change in the future. And if it does, it doesn't mean it's a permanent change. Um, I've learned that basically the way you see things from the state of the game in the beginning is how it will wind up being for a while in the future until things change, the balance shifts, something particular changes. Somebody gets good at what they're doing and manages to reach stellar heights and perform great acts. But right now, we're waiting to see who those heroes and legends are. You know, we have war heroes and decorated veterans from the prior wars in EE right now. All right. But that's still not enough for anyone to really dedicate a title of legend or title of most feared FC. I feel as if everyone gets it in their head that the fight is going to be the fight and instead focus on the fight at hand instead of focusing on being a name drop, going out looking for fame through your actions and just play the game. They'll find less stress in their lives.
That's a good answer. Man, you're easy to listen to.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's your accent that makes it. Were you born in Ireland or are you from Ireland?
No, I was born in America.
All right, your parents were from Ireland.
Aye.
Aye. I just love it. I love your accent, man. You
I bought it on eBay. Cost me
You
about
bought it.
$5.99.
Yeah. Well, I have to buy that.
Yeah, go to eBay, look for accent options. Trust me, you just got to keep scrolling until they run out of paint pictures.
Oh shit! I'm gonna do that. Oh, and also like when you told me what you do in real life, I just saw myself sitting at the table and ordering food, and
Hey,
and you coming across and you'd be like, "Yeah, what would you like to order?" I was like, "Whatever you have caught, my man." It's like
man.
you've been
So
fishing yourself. Yeah.
that's when you walk up and tell them, hey, we got some sausage in the back if you own any, but you got to make sure you make it yourself because I can only provide the bread, the potatoes, and hope.
If you could change anything, I know that you might not want to change stuff because you take it like day by day and the future is whatever it is, but if you could change something in Eve Echoes, what would that be?
I would honestly say if I were to change anything in Eve Echoes, um, I would honestly have to say I would change the way the market has been designed. Um, the market looks kind of like the market from EO, and it looks very user friendly, but it's also very deceiving. I feel that the skills relative to the market are very sad, to be fair. Um, if somebody, let's say you, Chev, right, spends a lot of time in Jita, all right, and you're doing marketeering for change, right? And you got 555 in your trade and accounting skills, all right, because this is what your in game looks like for you.
Yeah,
You're still losing 10% of any markup you may come up with, and that's not fair for all the time you're putting into those skills.
I agree.
So, I mean, to me, I would change the market to be more balanced and fair. I would take it into consideration that, like, just like today in today's age and time, those who are working in accounting and marketeering, they only pay a nominal fee versus an actual, purchaser fee. A purchaser fee of 10%, that makes fucking sense. But if you got your skills maxed out, then, I'd like to see these boys actually make what they make the right way instead of having to play the crap game I call that you see in Jita where you got these spam bots. And that's the other thing I'd change too. If I were them, I'd get some moderators that know what the hell they're doing and get rid of every last one of those spam bots that sit there in Jita and Amar and give people some peace of mind so they can communicate with each other properly.
Very good points. Very good. Since you're building, are you also selling your stuff, or are you only selling to your corporation and alliance?
Um, I sell to the highest bidder. Um,
What about the
I
lowest
do.
bidder? If I want to buy something very cheap.
Um, Lowest bidders are also welcome. I don't turn anyone away, really. To be fair, 90% of the time I give shit away. I never really hold on to things for very long. When I do, I have multiple of them set up across the stars. I I I'm probably more spread out than any pilot I know. And for all of the great PvP pilots out there, and I'm talking like Vetamune, I'm talking like Crisscross up in Northeast, talking about people from the old OG Republic who still reside in the East. All of these guys, they're great. They're great pilots. They're people that I love to talk to. And, you don't have to you don't have to develop a persona for yourself to where your enemies are unwilling to engage you in conversation. If you do that, then they're not really your enemy, they're just your rival. And rivals you don't communicate with. You crap talk them, you talk them down, you try to do everything in your power to make them look small in your eyes. And I'm not playing a psychological game with people. I want people to know that Atom and its leadership are always going to represent the best of who we can be at all times. And whatever alliance, which I'm glad we're in TSC because we were in Void. God, that was a travesty. Um, since being in TSC, it's all been uphill. There's not been a single time where we've been down. And any time that we've needed help or we needed to give help, we were able to do so without worry of any kind of recourse, negative or positive, because we were doing the right thing to us.
Yeah, the space cows are amazing.
Well, we do like to moo at everybody in local when they don't belong. So just know, ladies and gentlemen, if you come into the pasture and you have been mooed at, there is more than just one person on their way to you.
Yeah, have you played Diablo 2 with the cow level? Moo, moo, moo,
Yes,
moo, 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 moo. That's us.
yeah, all day long. It's
All
also the
day.
same way on the old Doom. If you remember old Doom, the cow level there, the
Oh,
the
what?
the
No.
long moves and that.
I don't actually remember that. I did play it a lot but when I was younger, but I don't remember the cow level on Doom. Was it Doom 1?
Yeah, Doom one.
Or have I just forgot it? I
You
have to
probably
look that
forget
up.
it, mate.
Yeah, yeah, I have to look that up. Um
I mean, I'm well in my 40s, so I mean,
Yeah, I'm soon in my 40s. I'm 39. Yeah, I'm 40 in 9 like 9th December 9th November. I would be 40.
Aye.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, mate. May
Thank
you have
you.
40 more.
I would like so. I will be talking to Elon Musk and he will give me that chip in the head so I will live forever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
see, I was looking at the cryogenics projects, donating my body to science.
Oh shit. All right. That's scary. Okay, so talking about other games, what other games do you play? I know you play Mech Warriors, Dungeons and
Mhm.
Dragons, something, Warhammer 40K.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I have not played Mech Warrior. I did play Dungeons and Dragons when I was like younger, when I was the cool kid. So I joined them, but I just made fun of it, which was bad because it was actually pretty fun. I just wanted to be the cool guy. So I don't know anything
Correct.
about Dungeons and Dragons really, and Warhammer looks very, very cool. I just have not played it.
Well, Warhammer is definitely a hobbyist's game. By that I mean it's monetarily expensive. It's also time consuming. You have to build the models and paint them and such as this, and then get the rule books to know what they all do. But in the interim, the easy explanation is it's super advanced risk with very expensive pieces. Um,
Oh, it's not a video game.
no, this is a tabletop miniature game.
Also like Dungeons and Dragons, or
Yeah, sort of.
almost.
Except for Dungeons and Dragons is more just you have a mini versus the DM. Whereas Warhammer is two players with their army of miniatures versus each other. And you have a point value that restricts you to how many models you can take with you, as such as this.
Oh, that is cool. I How could I not
Mm.
know this? Like the Dungeons and
You,
Dragons knowledge that I
you
do
live
is
in
from Stranger
you live
Things.
in you say you're a Swede, right?
Yeah, yeah, sweet.
So how do you not know about GW?
GW. What is GW?
Games Workshop.
Ah, shit, I don't know. I don't know. What is
That's
that?
It's a Euro company who is actually the creators and developers of Warhammer.
I had no idea. Dude, I have to write all this down. I have to check out Doom and I have to check out this Warhammer stuff.
Good thing you got it recorded, mate.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know. This is fucking lovely. And Mech Warriors. Mech Warriors is actually a video game, right? I have a friend who played it.
Yes, Mech Warrior is actually it's two different mediums. Mech Warrior itself is a video game,
All right.
but it is based on a tabletop game similar to D&D called Mech BattleTech. BattleTech was actually developed in a response to a much earlier tabletop game, which was somewhat built out to be pretty good. But it was basically, you remember way back in the day, the old Macross, like Robotech, that was it.
I think I know.
Um, so with Robotech, it was an animated series. And it was just basically airplanes that turned into giant mech robots. But then Battletech said, no, 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 no. These are just mechanical robots that look like humanoids, basically, or bipedal, bird-like legs on them and such as this. But it's basically Mech Warrior is the video game version I like to play because I don't know a lot of people that play the actual Battletech game. I like it because it basically puts your pilot in 100 tons of steel and lets you load it out how you wish, and you get to go up against 5 man, 10 man, 20 man, 40 man squads. It's just straight PvP. It's first person shooter. It's it's quick. It's nasty. It's brutal, and I love it.
It reminds me of a game called Gungan something. Gungan?
Gundam Wing.
Oh yeah, I played that one. That is
Hey,
also
Gundam Wing is also fun.
all right. What do you? So you still play it, right? Still play these
Oh,
games?
I do every time I get an opportunity. Yes, I'm one of those individuals that if I am good at something, I'll sit there and think to myself that I'm doing something wrong. I hyperanalyze everything I do to the point of I've gotten straight to the point now to where I don't die unless I intend to die. I only die when I want to die in a game. Um, Very similar to what I said earlier about being in the bigger fleets. If I died, it's because something else is on its way to rock your day.
All right, that was interesting. And I don't know much about it, so I don't have so many questions about it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That's totally okay, mate.
Yeah, all right. So to get back to Eve a bit, can you recall your best kill in Eve Echoes?
Actually, I can. Um, but it's going to be a little bit lackluster to some of the other fellas. But um, I, I look at best kill a little differently. It's not about the value of is that I take down; it's the quality of the fight, right?
Of course, yeah.
So, um, I was down in Catch when we were with Void. I was in a frigate that I had set up for gate camping, and I was just moving it through Null, going down to FEM, and I wound up getting caught up by a slasher. Well, I was in a slasher as well, so we had a slasher on slasher fight that lasted an hour and a flipping half.
What?
We had a slasher on slasher fight in which lasted an hour and a half.
Oh my god.
We matched each other for slingshot. We matched each other for shot. We matched each other for skills. We matched each other for equips. We were practically running mirrored boats and we didn't know it. So when I finally took him down, his ISK value had to have been something like 150 million. But at the very end of that, it was like, what the hell did I just do?
I would assume you guys are friends today.
We are. We are. I
Yeah.
can't say his name because I don't speak Russian. So I just know that he is Russian and I know what these emblems look like.
Oh, that's amazing. I hope he listened to this. I don't think he understand it though, but that's too
Well,
bad.
I only speak bullshit and bad bullshit.
Bullshit and bad bullshit. Yeah. Are you sure you don't fish like sharks? You sure? I could see you standing there with this, with this hat and a cigar and a big of rope and some barrels and hunting for white sharks like the Jaws.
Yeah, no, I'm not much of a deep sea fisher. When I was younger, I'd first gotten into the workforce. One of my very first jobs was I was an oil rigger, and I wound up working offshore for a bit. So I got very allergic to being involved with any animal from that aspect of the world. I will stay out of their region and they can stay out of mine. I don't want a tornado full of sharks because that don't matter. That matter mad. I'm good. I'm great. Fuck all them. There's a difference between being stupid and crazy. I'm not stupid. I'm a little bit crazy.
That is true. And I would fucking run if like a tornado with sharks would like attack me.
The shark.
That,
No.
that's kind of one of those times that I would actually move. It's either that or maybe if a lightning comes down, then I maybe move. I don't know.
Well, the craziest thing ever happened to me, wise with wind like that, was I was a kid and we went to the lake with my dad and my sister, and we were in this like little trailer that he'd brought along, and the wind picked up and everything like that. He had us get in there. He shut the doors. He's outside, and I could see this little funnel come down and it touched the lake, and it was on the water for a little while, and then it went away and it shook the hell out of the whole place. And I didn't know what I had just experienced. My dad comes in there. He says, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." The hell was that? He's like, "That right there is something you don't want to go out messing with." I said, "What the hell were you doing out there?"
So your dad is catching sharks.
That man's
obvious.
fearless. He is a legend in my eyes. He's passed, but you know the memory he left for me is very well and deeply endeared to me. You know, you can't be fearful in your life or anything that you do. You always do your best in everything you do. And even if it falls short of everyone's expectations, you can make yourself proud in knowing you did all you could.
Always do your best, and that's all you can do. And if you see your dad as a legend, then I would say that he filled his role and he took care of you. So what more can a dad do, right? Than to be the legends for their kids. That's great.
It's like I think that's every father's personal goal, let's be fair.
That is true. I told you, you are great to talk to. Even though your accent caught me off guard, so I kind of messing up my questions. I still feel like it's a great strong accent to listen to. I mean, it almost sounds like everything you say is important. I love it.
You know, I honestly have to say it's nice to know that I have the respect that I have within my corporation. I log on, I owe 7 boys, and I get what's up, boss? How you doing, boss? Where you been, boss? What you doing next, boss? What are we doing after a while, boss? You know, I don't like to be called boss, to be fair, but I recognize it as a sign of respect. Um, to me, it's more a matter of just because you have the ability to control others or impress others or gain the respect of others doesn't mean that you're above others. So, as a leader, I try to impart that upon everyone. And so I try to speak evenly enough to where people want to hear what I have to say instead of assuming that it's automatically crap or assuming that, oh God, here we go again. He's on another tirade, or oh shite, he's on a rant. Fucking run. You know, it's going to be something that people are going to receive. You know, if I have to get into a public channel on our server and talk to our line, you know, I have to make sure that they're all going to want to hear what I say. Um, Even when I sound like a robot, they laugh at me and then I make bite my shiny metal ass bender jokes. But it's a matter of developing that line of communication where they know that if you get serious, they know what that sounds like. But if you always sound the same, then they don't know what to think until they've actually done something wrong. If they've done something wrong. And then they'll also know for sure when they've done something right. You know, I look at things very differently than most, in my opinion. But I also believe that you have to have a heart in everything you do. You can't be a cold, calculated killer without being an intelligent, logical, loving individual.
I kind of agree with pretty much everything you say when you're talking about like being a CEO. I was a CEO myself for quite a long time. I always said that even though I'm a CEO, it's not my job to run the corporation. My job is actually to find out what my members want. So my members showed me how they wanted it, and I took control and I gave them what they needed, pretty much.
So
And
basically, what
yeah,
you're saying is that you agree with the idea of being a servant of the people, so to speak.
yeah, that's pretty much what you are if you're a CEO. You're not a, I mean, you're a leader, but you are not the guy who decides everything. In my opinion, you lead the people, but you lead the people the way they want to be led. I've said it a few times to my corporation back in the days that you have to be there for them and you have to make sure that everything works, but you have to do it in the way that the corporation wants it to be. So, and I
You know,
think
they
that is exactly what you're saying.
and a lot of gamers, the best way I can impart that to them, if they've ever played the game Black and White, you got to look at yourself when you are a leader or in a leadership capacity, even as a low level leader in your own corporations. You got to look at yourself as the big white glove. You got to be indifferent. You got to be impartial. You have to be unbiased, and you have to let go of how you feel and analyze the situation. And once you've done that, and you've come up with some idea of what you're looking to achieve, then you can incorporate your feelings. Then you can incorporate all those biased thoughts and try to naysay or disprove that what you're doing is the right step. But if you can't, then you go forward. You don't kibitz about it. You don't negotiate. You don't back down. Once people get used to that kind of a personality, then they realize that, well, if they're really on it, like they are, then they know that something is either right or they're really, really onto something and probably should investigate more into it. You know, one of my boss currently in life, in real life, my general manager, is also my best friend in real life. He plays the game with me. He's actually beneath me in Atom. But we share a similar level seat in a way because he's basically the naysayer of the lot. But he he showed me a video of this kid, a little overweight, at a concert all by himself dancing. And as you watch the video, it goes on and on and on. He's dancing like a lunatic, looks like a Ninja Turtle escaped him. All right. And quite literally over a 10 minutes time frame, he's went from just being him dancing to two people dancing, grew to five people dancing, grew to 12 people dancing.
Yeah.
And so if you look at that for what it is metaphorically, right? You can do any dance you want to in this entire world. You can look as dumb as whatever to anyone around you. But if your confidence is where it needs to be, people will follow and people will want to go where you're going. With Atom being the way that it is, I was going to add on that every member in Atom gives without really being asked to, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We don't have, in my opinion, because I don't know what other corporations go through. I haven't been in them, right? I've been a faithful, loyal advocate for Atom since day one, since release. And so for us, it's we don't absorb corporations. We don't merge with corporations. What we do is we make our family larger. And I want to emphasize that very much. We're building a family here, not a corporation. And the corporation, yes, has tasks and yes, has its strengths and its weaknesses. But the family that lives in that corporation is unbreakable.
Sounds strong.
We've added several corporations to our roster over the past few months. Not only to help corporations who didn't want to leave Delve, but also to help other corporations who just needed a home. Every member that has come to us would probably refer us to anybody who were to ask us, you know, can I apply or should I? For any pilot out there carrying a gray status and a clean rap sheet, you know, we've got open doors and we are always willing to help anyone And it doesn't matter what time frame you live in. It doesn't matter what nationality. It doesn't matter what your language barrier is. We have everything we need to be able to communicate with people and to be able to make the experience likable and lovable and keep them coming back, which is something that is, I just can't say for the way NetEase handles it, but I do hope that in the future the new pilot programs will be better so that they can see, corporations with a high retention rate, meaning that we have always been able to keep, pilots consistently for over a set amount of time. And then also in that same list, see the ones with the low retention rate so you can see who's not able to hold their people. This would also help a lot of ways across the board for all the coalitions and alliances as well, so that you can identify where your weak spots are in your leadership, as well as your weak spots within your line people. Lack of communication breakdowns, things like that, become a thing of the past at that point.
You just said a very cool thing. I'm not sure how that would work, but imagine something being able to rank a corporation. Like, oh, this corporation is so good, I'm gonna rank them like 5 out of 5, or
Yeah, like
you
a
know,
rating system.
yeah, and I mean, of course, the corporation will rank themselves, but in the long run, there will be a very good way to see, like, okay, this corporation has a lot of high votes. So this is probably a corporation that actually care and help out. And this corporation over here got 100 people, but not so many votes.
Nay,
I think that would be amazing.
that then puts it in the hands of those people investing their personal assets into a digital content to feel more secure in where they're homing their characters. In my opinion, affording that kind of a levy to your player base would not only encourage growth in your player base, but also gain you retention in your player base to such an extent to where we could see EE grow exponentially by almost 43% in a year's time if we had certain things in place and it
Yes.
worked out that way. But these are all ifs because we don't have a way to see if it would work because they're not even considering these things.
Yeah, so far they don't. I'm doing all I can to make them
I
understand
know.
that what I'm doing is actually for them. But as you say, like, if they would have changed 15 things in Eve Echoes, then we would have double the people, pretty much. I
Oh,
would I
easy.
would I would say that. And I've always
Easy.
said it. I always said it that Eve Echoes can be bigger than Eve Online ever were. And I'm
Totally.
not joking. And this is, of course, because it's iOS, it's Android, it's easy for everyone to play. But they need to fix some stuff that even the
Mhm.
casual can play. And as I made a video about how to make hardcore and casual play together without having the boundaries, that would make this game so much bigger.
You see, one of the things that I saw that EO did a long time ago with their Alpha Omega system, right, was that even though you were an Alpha account, you could pretty much put skill points into anything up to 4, which means you would be able to get a taste of what you could do. All right. Which would allow a little bit of that, well, that was really cool. I want to save up my money and go get that. All right. That built that anticipation, so to speak, up. Um, to say that we do something like that in EE would not be so effective because EE is about instant gratification, correct?
It's an
So
iOS game. That is what iOS game have.
yeah, exactly. So if you try to develop that base in that way, you tend to push people away because they look at it as a cash grab instead of them trying to build the base, right? So instead of making it look like a cash grab, make it even simpler than it has to be. Why does there have to be 3 different types of purchases for your account? Why does it have to be basic? Why does it have to be standard? Why does it have to be standard and basic? Why
Yeah,
does there have to be 3 of them? It only needs to be one Omega 599 and move on. That's
perfect.
simple.
Yeah, I agree. And everything else is just pure grind. You grind as much as
Correct.
you like.
Mm-hmm.
They could have the or they have the AUR, but as I said in the video, that AUR was in Eve Online because we had like clothing and stuff like
Right.
that, and we don't have
And
that here. We
it was
have,
quite literally a tertiary currency only designed for basically aesthetics.
yeah,
It was never meant to be what EE is using it for.
yeah,
You should be able to say, I need Plex. I go in here, I spend $5. I've got 500 Plex. Now I can afford my Omega for next month. Yay. Okay,
yes,
move on.
yeah. But now they have the AUR, and I mean it's too late, I think, to change this. But I still think that if they would have used the AUR for special skins a lot more than they have today, and not have the special skins on any ships, pretty much like the skins are either Plex based that you have to buy them off someone else, but they had to get them from maybe from AUR, from the store, so you can have all these shiny ships. You know, they look cool, uh, but they released it together with Nano. So when you have a Nano core, you can also change the color. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very cool. I like it, but why? I mean, why not just have, you want to change your color on your own ship? Pay $10.
And
Oh,
it's done.
yeah, sure. Fuck, I paid $10 to fix my favorite ship. You know, and people would be happy to do it instead of feeling
Well,
forced.
oh yeah, totally.
And
It's a, I think it needs to be like it needs to be a meeting ground per se between the developers and the player base. And that meeting ground has to come at main currency and retention.
yeah,
And without main currency being placed first, there is zero retention. So getting that in line first means more than everything.
yeah,
The point that they're not going to be removing AUR, that's on them. You know, it's whatever. We're used to it now. That's fine. But from a player's point of view, um, I view it more as a desperation move for the company
yeah, it
to
is.
dive in to get more cash when all they really have to do with, like, let's say their Concord Pass has two different versions you can get. One,
Yep.
if you don't have a lot of money you want to invest, and the other one if you can go full bore. All right. Now, mind you, that's all nice and good, but the full bore one gives you 15 levels, whereas the one that, well, I kind of got a little bit of money in my pocket, gives you five, is almost insulting. You can't even meet halfway. So it feels like you're punishing the man who can't afford the top package.
Yeah, and this is a problem I talked about for other games in on iOS, is that when you
Mm-hmm.
start a game and it's pay to win, which pretty much every game is pay to win in some regards,
Man, yeah.
but and especially iOS games. But when I join a game, for example, I just want to try a game, and they put out this sale for like $1. It's like everyone bought that stuff, and I don't want to buy that. But I mean, if I'm gonna play this game, I need to buy that one because everyone else bought it because it's so damn cheap, and I just hate
Mm.
that. And it's weird to say it, that I hate cheap stuff, but I mean, if it's cheap, then everyone gets it, and then it's just nothing. It means nothing. Um, Rather have something very fucking expensive that the rich whales can buy, that you don't buy, and you'll be happy with the way you play. But I mean, they want to have the money, so it's easier to say like, yeah, you know, pay just a few bucks and you get all this cool stuff, and you play for a week, and then you change the game, and then another game says the same thing. uh, I, I'm sick of it. I don't like it. I'd rather have them pay for transmogs, or, you know, cool cosmetics. I mean, that's what I want to have in games, uh,
I,
instead of being forced. But yeah,
let, let's look really far back, right? Let's just take a small little reminiscent walk into the past, right? Of video games in general.
yeah,
All right. And let's go back and look at Leisure Suit Larry. Now, this is not what you would call an NSFW game, but it damn sure is. They
Yeah,
didn't advertise it as such. So here you are, you got 10 and 11-year-old kids playing a game that is damn sure not for them. All right. And, it causes an uproar.
yeah,
But as soon as it got the attention that it got, well, now it's a novelty to own. So the game
yeah,
that once only cost you $30, which by the way, during the time that it came out, $30 was the same as an $80 game by today. All
yeah,
right. So when you think about that, all right, and you think to yourself, okay, so that was the first pay to win, technically. Because if you wanted to have it, you had to pay the extra to get it because nobody's going to mail it to you. You had to order it directly from the producer.
yeah,
So here we are, many years later, and all that's done is evolve into microtransactions instead of I bought my game. I have all of the stuff that can be done in this game available on this disk or memory task or whatever it is presented to you as. All right. And you're done. Right. Now, later on, we got PlayStation and Xbox all doing online stuff. They're like they open up their little stores. Well, now your regular game that you've already paid for and are done paying for, well, now you can go and buy packages or expansions.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it,
No,
it's something that's never going to go away. It just developed itself into this even more annoying concept over 20 years.
I
And
think,
so
yeah,
to combat it, it's almost kind of like you got to think about the golden age of like America, when everybody was saying you pinch a penny, you save a pound,
yeah.
you know.
But
uh,
even though a gaming company can make a lot of money, for example, like the company GGG that made grinding gear games, they made the Path of Exile. They're
right.
making $100 million. I mean, they're making so much money just with transmogs and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, they're making good money. They're happy. They can, drive their nice cars and live a very good life. But then you
But it's
have,
not a permanent thing.
it's not a permanent thing, of course. And then you have the other companies like NetEase. They make, I don't know, like billions because
Hmm.
they have this way of taking money from us. And for me, it's like, isn't it good enough to make 100 million if the player base are very happy, and you can do that for maybe 10 years on an iOS game instead of
Right.
taking like 1 billion for 2 years and the game just dies. I mean, where's the
Well,
legacy in that part?
there isn't right now. I think NetEase is trying to break the record for the fastest dead game on the planet. To be honest, the reason why is because they introduced insurance points and destroyed the ability for industrial complexes to make any forward going cash. This is why EO never did something like that. Instead, you bought Plex, you bought insurance, and you carried your insurance through your ISK payments personally, and then you would get the hull, or you would actually get ISK in return. You would
Yes.
not get a hull, you would
Yep.
not get anything back. And so that makes more sense because now you're making your alliances, your coalitions in your game to have to generate a self-generating wealth that is constantly going. Now your game has retention. Now your game has loyalists, not just players, but loyalists who
Yeah.
will literally month by month put into that account because guess what? You didn't destroy their market. You didn't destroy their gameplay. You didn't take away or say something was meaningless, even though it was in your game. It's just this, it's a constant letdown of tiny details. And tiny details do build into big things, right? It's like little houses made of ticky tacky, all in a row. But you got to change something, right? Because you had to change something. Now you're the one having to deal with it in the long run. So now NetEase is on the way to maybe a 5 year spike, all right, and then they're going to die off. That's what my fear is, all right, because I
Yeah.
really love this game.
Yeah, and I can't play Eve online. I mean, I just can't sit at the computer and doing this. And this is This is the only way for me to get to space. There is no other game similar to this with the
No.
with the people around. Like the community is so great. It could be even better. Uh,
Oh yeah.
and I saw this video recently with like the Chinese netties that were talking about. I don't know. It was netties at least. That was talking about stuff about their game and how proud they were of the game. I got the feeling that they really love the game. But it's like they're obviously very smart. But
Oh yeah,
still,
they're super smart, but
yeah,
they're not financial geniuses. I mean, they're a bunch of programmers who are doing what they can with what they found to be probably one of the greatest game platforms in the world. All right. And got the rights, paid for the rights to present their own version. And they're really good at all of that. But I think that where they lack as a company is in their financial decisions and their ability to draw income from their product. The way they're doing it right now feels very forced and it feels very strong armish, if that makes sense.
yeah, I don't get it how they cannot see this. I mean, either they don't have any idea what we do in the game. It's gotta be either
It
that
feels like that.
or they don't care.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to say they don't care because I mean I know they
Yeah,
care. Here's the reason I know they care. I know they care because they keep adding servers. They keep adding servers to support their player growth, and that's the biggest sign of care right there. They're not waiting until their player growth has surpassed it. They're getting ahead of it, which is something you don't see in many mobile games. But where they falter is like I just said, in the microtransactions is where they're losing their player base. They've got to figure out something to where it consolidates the things they want to try to sell, but makes it important and equal and fair to all players involved.
yeah, and so they have these content creators, and we have plenty of content creators that are very good, and uh, and a lot of them are talking about these issues, me
Mm-hmm.
included. I'm always talking about this stuff, and
Oh, wow.
they don't even have to think about how to solve it because I'm a guy that, I mean, I see a problem, but I don't go and cry about it like this is a problem, fix it. I'm more like this is a problem and this is how I would have fixed it. So I have a
Mm-hmm.
solution for it. Otherwise I cannot, I mean, I have to have a solution for it. So I have the solutions that they could modify however they like. But I mean, I see no action to it. And I'm a very
You're right.
small YouTuber, so I'm pretty sure that they don't care. But I'm working on being bigger, so they'd be like, okay, we have to listen to this guy.
Oh, they
I don't
care. They
know.
care about you. They care about B8KD. They care about all of them. Eve Echo News. They care about all of you content providers because without any of you, even the smaller ones, guess what? EE is an afterthought. Let's
Yeah,
just be real. People
yeah,
live their lives through YouTube and what they're introduced to by their random, screens. It's kind of it's codependent, if you would, of the media content, the social interaction. So just like I said earlier, like with Reddit and all these social media platforms and such as this, it's easy for a content creator to get enough information just from like let's say Reddit to where they could run a month's worth of videos already in a year's time of the game being released. And
yeah,
that's a good thing and a bad thing. You got to remember that, any kind of news can be a Damocles sword. It's not necessarily good, but not necessarily bad.
yeah. What do they say? Like, any publicity is good publicity?
Yeah, that's a marketing model basically for any kind of
Yeah.
marketers. All publicity is good publicity until somebody goes to jail.
Oh, yeah, that's the last part I missed.
For all of the pilots in New Eden, whether you're red, gray, or blue, um, we're all brothers in the same cause in keeping this game alive and well. So do remember not to take things so hard and try to walk softly and carry a big stick if you must, like FDR said, that's fine. But first and foremost, guys, we need each other. And that's the best advice I can give anyone out there.
And you're rounding up with another excellent speech. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope I can do this again. This was amazing. Thank you so much, Raven. I hope you have a great time in Eve Echoes, and I hope I see you again.
Oh, you will.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.